Welcome to Carter's Corner Pocket, where we feel the rocket. Today, we're talking GameStop. GameStop, $26.14, up 2.39%. You know, we were up, what, 3.5%, something around those lines. This is bullish to me. You saw the market's been down. Russell 2000, which GameStop is in and Best Buy is in, they're down. Russell 2000 yesterday was down as well. I don't know what it ended at, but during the day it was down. Best Buy was down as well. But GameStop still moving up. You know we had to. We bounced off our support lines. It's moving perfectly. There's something I want to show you. Actually, I want to show you two things. So, Endgame Jesus was going down. Let me see. Yeah, for real. He messed up music. I hate the people that mess up music that we grew up with. Working to buy more GME. Exactly. Yeah, I gotta, like, for real, I gotta list my Jordans, man. People are like, I don't value those things anymore, and people, well, I'm gonna keep a couple pairs for my son. But other than that, I don't value them. Let someone else pay a ton of money for it. I paid like retail price. I never overpay for that. But regardless, the more recent Jordans, they're like lower quality. The leather is cheaper. The plastic stuff is cheaper. Whatever. But GameStop right now looking good. I'm gonna show you why I think we're gonna hit 29 in the near term, very near term. Probably like I would say what, end September? By end September, we're definitely going to be at 29. We'll be approaching that warrant price. Now, it's to be said, are we going to bounce back down, come here, and then, you know, take off up towards 35, which we may just break straight out of here and hit 35, like right at the beginning of October, right at the warrant time. We may just hit 35. It's retesting more levels of resistance, and the more we test it, the more bullish you should be that we can reach those highs once again. I'm going to show you something else as to why I think we're going to do it. Let me just show you instead of just saying it. Just saying it. So, okay, look at the RSI over here, okay? This is on the daily chart. Every single time the RSI goes over, I have it set to 70 right over here. Every single time it goes over 70, we test the trend line completely. Look, over here, I wish you could see the date. I got to look over this joint. Back in May, RSI went over 70 over here, and we touched the trend line. And now, once again, went over 70. This went up. It tested 35. Well, the 35 line over here, which is absolutely decent for GameStop, because if you see that, that's like 130 plus, right? when you talk about the split. When you take the split into account. Okay, so then we have over here RSI over 70. We touched 50 at that point, and we tested this trend line. This was the start of this pennant. So the two patterns in our giant pennant are a falling wedge and then a bull pennant right here. So yeah, we drew these trend lines. We pop right off, and I think we're going to come up over here because our RSI is approaching over the 70 mark on the daily chart, and every single time we touch over here. Look over here. Back in the day, way back in the day, April 2022, RSI goes over 70, we touch it. RSI hits the 70 line, we touch the top part of this falling wedge. Once again, every single time we hit at the 70 mark of the RSI, we test the upper limits of whatever trading pattern we're in. So. Yeah, and back here, I don't even need to tell you about it. But that's just something I noticed, and we've gone over 70, and it's still upward momentum. Today, the market's been calm. People are waiting for the Fed policy rate decision tomorrow, which it's priced in 25 basis point cut. So if there's anything hawkish, we could definitely go into a market correction. But like while the market's calm, while everything's going on, GameStop just continues to rise, and we're going to test this level right over here. Guaranteed, in my mind, in my eyes, my point of view, 29.50 is where we're going, 30, and we very much could break out and just test this 35 level. Because right over here, 35 was resistance twice. You see the double top, it hit right over there. So yeah, at least 29.50 I see in the very, very near term, and we're going to continue on upward. Eventually, we're going to flip this into support rather than resistance, and just keep on moving. And it's amazing to still be talking about this stock. It just happens to be that I guess I come out and I stream on days that we're in the red, and it's just I enjoy it so much more because the days that that are not green or not bullish or whatever, it may be bullish in like the market's eyes, or bearish in the market's eyes. The days that it's red are the best days to come out and talk about how great of a stock GameStop is. Why I invest in GameStop, because I believe in management. Their investment style, management style is everything I want from a management team because it kind of mimics myself. I'm dollar cost averaging. What's up, Sharon? Welcome. Do you know much about how warrants affect all these fake shares? I missed conversations on it. I can tell you that. Okay, so what's going to happen is GameStop issues the warrants. It goes to computer share the transfer agent. You can choose to DRS or not. I'm not DRSing. Warren Kitty is not DRS. They'll split the shares and they'll send the rest to brokerages. And the brokerages, what they will do is they will credit the lender's account, the actual owner of the shares. So the institutions that are lending out their shares to hedge funds, the institutions will get the warrant in their account, and automatically the hedge fund or whoever automatically gets debited their account, and they owe the brokerage the warrant. So what will happen is they will have to go to the open market and start buying warrants. So what happens with supply and demand, right? Supply and demand drives the price higher. That's what I envision happening to the warrants. So that's how that will work. But what happens is like the lender and people who have their accounts on margin. So the person that has it on margin, I mean that's how shorts buy from margin accounts. So what'll happen is, yeah, if you own a share, you get the warrant in your account. If you're short the position, whoever's lending it out gets the warrant in their account directly, no questions asked, and the broker then has the responsibility to go get the warrant from the hedge fund. And what happens if they don't have money? If like the crazy synthetic share thing actually is true? Which they can manipulate different things, but they definitely owe the warrant to the broker. So let's just say Fidelity is the broker, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade is the broker. They will have to go and get it from the hedge fund, from the person shorting it. But yeah, they're automatically owed. They automatically owe shares. Sometimes when they give out warrants, they do cash warrants. The brokerages, the person short GameStop or whoever is short could pay back in cash. But what happens? I'm not really sure about this. I have a feeling. I'm not even sure. That's actually up to the brokerage, I think, or maybe up to GameStop. I'm not sure. I think it's up to the brokerage what they accept. But imagine being short GameStop and it's going the other way, and the warrant prices are going up. You have to go get it at the open market. You're still paying the cash, right? And then you're still also short your short position. You're upside down on your short position. So that's how that works. They definitely will owe a warrant. So where will they get it? They have to go to the open market and get the warrants. In my eyes, bidding the price up higher. So yeah, I want to hold on to the warrants for a while. It's a long dated call option, really. So time decay plays into that. So you have to be smart with that. Think about what you're doing if you want to exercise or if you want to sell the warrants if you don't have the cash to exercise your warrants, because holding it, I think the warrant price will go up. So yeah, there's that. That's what it is. I actually have stuff over here talking about it. But in the meantime, oh, here's another pattern I see. I was talking about it before on other live streams. Let me see. This is weird. I have active noise canceling earbuds, right? Having both is like crazy. All right, cool. So let me go ahead and see, throwing off my spatial awareness. So let me go ahead and see, what do I have over here? Yeah, 3 rate cuts. People are going to be watching the Fed Open Market Committee, the meeting tomorrow. If there's anything hawkish, the market will correct because they've already priced this in. And there's what is it? Today is the last day of trading for the VIX. Implied volatility on the S&P 500 is at a yearly low. Short-term implied volatility is historically low. We're at a yearly low right now. Settlement for VIX options volatility options is on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, along with the Fed policy decision. So if there's anything hawkish in there, And there's also Friday a $1.1 trillion worth of options settlement on the S&P 500. So if there's anything hawkish in that in the Fed policy decision, the market could quickly correct because they've already priced in the 25 basis point cut. But yeah, the vice is tightening. Absolutely. If it doesn't blow up hedge funds, because I don't really believe they would do that. I'm sure they're definitely scrambling. And I love it. Like cockroaches, like Tony De Niro's victims. Yo, crazy. I think that fool's live right now. But anyways, yeah, look at this. Wyckoff accumulation pattern going up. Wyckoff accumulation pattern going up. So yeah, I see 29.50 in the near term, very near term. Let me turn on the MACD really quick. I want to show you something. Just repeating patterns. I see this is on the daily. Watch. Draw down on the chart. And we very much could be seeing one of these very soon. One of the original rips. I'm going to show you why. I don't want to look at stocks in the typical ways anymore. Like I definitely do. I want to look at the balance sheet, all of that, but I just want to look at other things. Watch this pattern. 1, 2, 3, going upwards. 1, 2, 3 underneath. No Tony De Niro, and then we launch upwards. Right now, watch what's happening. Where we're at right now. Watch it be completely off. Okay, kind of doing the same thing. And where's the stock price now? Watch this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, and we could just be taken off out of this pennant. I don't know. It could be like the options launching this thing out of here. That would, I mean the warrants. Sorry, my bad. The warrants launching this thing out of here. I think we need to hit 35 eventually, very soon. And 50 will be retested again. We've retested it multiple times. Over time, it's crazy. Like I do want to get to the point where we can't even see on the 1 year chart the stock, because we've been such long-term investors. But what else is going on? Yeah, we have all of that going on. U.S. sentiment, consumer sentiment deteriorated. What do I have? 10-year Treasury yields, they bounce back above 4%. It should be a warning to investors. I got about 20 minutes, I would say, before I have to get the kids. But, okay, why is this alarming? Because nothing has happened, and then the yields are ticking up. The 10-year long-term yields are ticking upwards on no news. We're waiting there's nothing new that's come out. Why are you ticking up? Could be liquidity issues, What's going on, Burton? Thank you, man. Oh yeah, of course, no problem, man. I was like, man. I told my wife, I was like, man, my rants went live. Now I gotta watch them. I can't go live. So I watched a little bit of him. Gave him some gifted memberships. Help him spread the word. GameStop. So that's where we're at. I was like, I gotta go live today. No way I don't click go live. I've been chilling. What is this? Okay, refresh my browser. Survey of Consumers Sentiment of University of Michigan. Whatever it is here. It came in very low. 50, let's see. U.S. consumer sentiment continued to slide in September as Americans worried about their jobs and inflation. University of Michigan's preliminary survey consumers showed that overall sentiment dropped to 55.4, 4.8% decline from August rating of 58.2, the lowest reading since May. Headline consumer sentiment is down by 21% from a year ago. They stated the vulnerabilities in the economy and the labor market and tariffs being on their mind. What else is there? Yeah, those are the main things that happened. Perceived risks to their pocketbooks. The hardest hit are the lower class and middle class on with all the news, with all the tariff issues, consumer sentiment, with just everything going on. The hardest hit classes are the lower income and middle income classes, which we knew what would happen. That would happen. But this is crazy. Here you go. Let's just talk a little bit. What's up, Derek? How you doing, man?
Now for GameStop
So I was talking about just what's going on. Just what's going on, man. Just RSI is high. We're still ripping up. That's same type of thing that was happening back in the day over here, which we very well could be seeing. The warrants could trigger it, or it could not. We've been in the stock long enough. How did this NFT, what is it? The split dividend in July 22nd or 21st, 2022. How did that work out? That didn't do anything. And a lot of people were saying things would happen, QSIP number, different stuff like that. That didn't trigger anything. So this is just a wait and see. Like Ryan Cohen was talking to Charles Payne. He said, what did he say? He said when the markets turn, he's like, they don't flash yellow. They just go from green to red. So when GameStop turns, it doesn't flash yellow. This is my yellow flash right here, but it doesn't flash yellow. It just goes red to green. Look at these amazing launches, amazing rips. Every single time RSI gets over that line of 70 on the daily, we're testing our trading pattern tops. We're doing it again, and RSI is over 70. So yeah, I fully expect us to hit this 29 level, and I want to see us test this 35. And once the 35, this level 48. But the 48 is the macro one that's like the ultimate resistance point over here. You can see how much they should really, really, really tried to tested it many times over here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 times already. So I'm expecting a fourth one around this area. Short term, $30, really. So yeah, I was just browsing GameStop stuff. I was just gonna compare. Looking at AMC, what we don't have to deal with, that type of stuff.
Ryan Cohen, and much, much more. So check it out. So here's what I believe to be the truth, man. Listen, if you have $8 to $6 billion in cash and you still need to dilute, there is a problem. Ryan Cohen is not to be trusted. Warrant Kitty is not to be trusted. Adam Aaron is not to be trusted. Listen, if you're making multi-million dollars, you're not to be trusted. These people are not your friends. They are not.
What a fool, yo. Derek, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You really don't have to do any of that, but thank you. Let's see. The next video, I can't even remember what it was. I was going to say, he was talking about how great Ryan Cohen is. But that dude flip-flops still pushes out AMC. Yeah. So that's the thing. Look, imagine like at the end of these warrants, when we issue out the 59 million warrants, we're going to have almost $2 billion more dollars. I think it's $1.88 billion more dollars. So we're going to be sitting almost at $11 billion, just under $11 billion in cash. So whatever Ryan Cohen's doing, I know what Ryan Cohen's doing. Let's get into it real quick. All this BS. I was just going to go over trades. I don't need to do this, but watch him real quick.
Let's go. Oh, baby. Let's go.
All this BS. Adam Aaron, short sellers should be shitting their pants, just take your mind back to that time, man. Ryan Cohen's been silent. It's the way every great warrior ever moves. You do it in silence. You kill him in silence. You show, and you're there. The way you talk is by the results. Look at the balance sheet. $9 billion in cash. We have minimal investment. We have $500 million in Bitcoin. That's a large investment, but to GameStop's total balance, it's nothing. It's peanuts. If that Bitcoin thing turns upside down, we still got a ton of cash. It's not a killer. And Ryan Cohen, that's just one example of Ryan Cohen being very responsible with his shareholders' money, his own money, because he's the number one shareholder. Gotta love it.
I thought this was
Look at this BS.
From the point of view that I'm a gold bug. Great move from the point of view that, hey, listen, why shouldn't companies try to figure out attractive ways to make money? But I also felt that if you didn't have such a strong share base of people who really love you, that it might have been interpreted as something that was too different from your core.
Well, we knew we were going to take some flack when we did it. I think I read comments that it was bizarre, it was random, it was stupid, it was idiotic. Except there was one thing that we were certain of. We were going to make a lot of money. Now, you wouldn't think that the normal core competence of a movie theater company is gold mining or silver mining. But in this case at Hycroft, we found a company that was exactly like AMC a year ago, where it had great assets, In this case, silver and gold in the ground, millions of ounces. And
Look at that. CNBC, Jim Cramer pushing out Adam Aaron. Adam Aaron saying he's going to make a lot of money investing in Hycroft mining. Here's Jim Cramer pushing out Apollo, saying it's a great investment. The people over there are geniuses. And let's take a look at Hycroft mining. Where are we at now? It's up 137% in the last year. But let's take a look at the 5-year. Let's take a look at when AMC invested in Hycroft mining. Let me see. I closed that out. Let me see. It's the date of this video. Well, I can show you because I memorized. It's right over here on this huge drop. Yeah, this is when this is it. Yeah, right over here. Hycroft mining. Boom. Look at this. 91% down. Can you believe that? He's like, we're certain we're going to make a lot of money. But then on the other hand, we have Ryan Cohen announcing things like this.
I guess the $1 million question that everyone wants to know is, has GameStop bought Bitcoin?
We have bought Bitcoin.
Okay, how much?
We currently own 4,710 Bitcoins.
Let's go. So tell us about that. Why did GameStop decide to buy Bitcoin?
It was, if the thesis is correct, then Bitcoin and gold as well can be a hedge against global growth.
I don't need to play this one. I was just saying, like, look at the announcement GameStop's coming out with. Out of nowhere, right? Like, out of nowhere. And that's my favorite thing about it. That's my favorite thing about being a shareholder this long, since 2021. I love the fact that, like, we endured all of this marching through. You know, I made my channel back here. Where's $13? Well, somewhere around here is when I made my channel. And then we take off, you know? Like, I just couldn't accept the fact that GameStop was here with such great management, nobody paying themselves any money, great leadership. You can see the balance sheet like starting to turn around, exactly what they're doing, shutting down stores. You know they're trying to become more efficient. Spending is going down, all for a bigger plan, all for something else that we didn't know at the time, but we knew it was going to be something. And now, in my eyes, Power Pack's going to kill, like, it's going to annihilate the competition courtyard, arena packs. I almost forgot their names already because GameStop's going to be the dominant one. Tony De Niro, if you don't understand that, they're going to be the top. So anyways, yeah, so the GameStop is going to dominate that market, which we already are. You know, Saturdays, everything's selling out. Like, I can't even get anything anymore. But that's where we're at. We're at fools over here. Pedophiles of AMC running, still getting paid millions of dollars, still selling off all their stock. While Ryan Cohen, a good, honest man, from what I can tell, I don't know him, you know, so I can't really say it, but a hard-working person, definitely. Someone, just the way his life is set up, except for the $1 billion, you know, aligns with me. Like, his values, I guess, align with me. Everything I've read about him, what he works for, what drives him, it aligns with me. And I can relate. I can relate to family. I can relate to just different things, his personality, all of that. And I trust in GameStop, man. I trust in GameStop. I'm a long-term investor. There's no doubt about it. You know, I just gotta. I keep coming up here to do these videos, and what else is there to say? What else is there to say? The results are here. You want to see 20? They've been dying, like, and killing GameStop, crucifying Ryan Cohen for no top line revenue growth. We have it over here, man. Almost 22%. You know, quarter over quarter growth, revenue, top line, over 1,000% for net income growth. Like, get out of here! It's crazy, absolutely nuts. What else do you want to see? Any ratio, cash flow ratios going up. I mean, the balance sheet. Yeah, here. Let me just get to it. Well, this is something I read on E-Trade about warrants. It's really hard to find, like, actual documentation. That's what I've been doing. That's what I was doing yesterday, digging through a bunch of these documents, terms and agreements, whatever. This is from E-Trade about warrants. I want to see, like, see it set in stone. That shorts are going to owe the warrants, which I have found. But they definitely, right away, boom, the warrant date, the distribution date, they owe warrants. So it's up to them. If they don't have enough say they massively shorted it with synthetic rehypothecated shares, then they'll be margin called. They don't have the cash to cover it all, cover all of their warrants, because the broker is going to be like, "Hey, pay up. We're not going to have the liability of this," you know. And I've even read that people that are lenders of the shares that lend out their stuff, sometimes they just close out their position and they're like, "I don't want to deal with any of this," you know. Or what if they want to sell their warrants? They're going to be selling their warrants. Or what if they want to convert their warrants? You know, then all those shares have to come into play as buys of GameStop. It's a beautiful thing. It's a setup. It's a multi-leg setup for just imagine being short GameStop. Sucks to be you until October or whatever. I don't even know. I don't even know what you're gonna do. But yeah, margin calls are on the table if you don't have enough to cover your position. They'll start selling off all your other assets because the broker is going to get theirs. People could start raising margin requirements. That could cause issues. You know the whole spiel. But here you go. During the term of any securities loan, you are entitled to receive the amount of all dividends and distributions made on respect to your loan securities. However, you will receive substitute payments. This is Morgan Stanley. You will receive cash substitute payments in lieu of receiving dividends or distributions directly from the issuer. So GameStop will be the issuer. The lender, let's see. Okay, term of any securities loans. So say they're lending out GameStop. You're entitled to receive the amount of all dividends and distributions made on or respect of your loan securities. So they're lending out GameStop. They're entitled to the cash substitute. It's that example. You will receive a cash substitute payments. So what if they don't get the warrants and they just get the cash for the warrants, and the warrants are $1-2? They're going to be like, F that. I don't want to lend my shares out. I want the complete warrants. I want to hold it. I want to see these shorts go race to the market to buy warrants, and I want to sell the warrants off when when it goes way up in price, when it gets $20-$30. When GameStop hits 50, the warrant can hit the warrant can hit a value of like $30 because the intrinsic value, the difference between 32 and 50 is 18, and then you have the IV, which GameStop's IV goes crazy, so that'll shoot up the price of the warrant. So what did look at this? Yeah, this is what I was digging for. I completely forgot what was on this page. Here, during the term of any securities loan, so someone's loaning it out, right? You're entitled to the amount of all the dividends or distributions made in respect of your loan securities. However, you will receive substitute payments from Morgan Stanley in lieu of receiving dividends or distributions directly from the issuer. In other words, when a dividend or distribution is declared or paid on your loan securities, GameStop, you will receive a cash payment from Morgan Stanley that's equal to value in the amount of the dividend or distribution paid on loan securities, but you will not receive the actual dividend or distribution paid by the issuer. Certain unique distributions may not be capable of being exactly replicated as a substitute payment by Morgan Stanley. So there you have it. This is for this broker. It's like, if you're loaning out your shares, we're not giving you the actual warrant. We're not giving you the actual dividend or distribution. You're just getting the cash value of it straight up front, and that's it. So that sucks for them. Imagine I'm an institution and I got millions of shares and I'm due millions of warrants, but because I'm loaning it out to a hedge fund, I don't get my warrants. I get the cash equivalent of the warrants, which are, say, $1. I don't know, $1 or $2. But those warrants, I'm expecting to go way up in price because I expect GameStop to go up in price because it's a massively undervalued stock. And I could be selling those millions of warrants. I don't know how many warrants, millions of warrants at $10, $20. I'm losing out on so much money. All because these fools want to short GameStop and you want to give me a little percentage of it? No, get out of here. I don't want to lend my shares. You can pick and choose which securities you want to lend. I don't want to lend out my shares. I want to get my warrants. This is just one broker that I found digging into this. So that's awesome. That's awesome. You saw the Novix. I read it. They did the same dividend warrant in hopes of catching short sellers. They were like, even if they're not massively synthetically short, it's a pain for them because they're upside down on the warrant. They need to go get the warrants from the open market at market value, which will keep driving the cost up if people hold their warrants. There's that. then they're upside down on their short position. So even farther because yeah, you know the deal. The warrant can push up the value of the stock if it's a heavily shorted company, synthetic shares, and people are racing to get warrants. And that's exactly what GameStop is. So this is one other thing. You know how GameStop started? I got about 5 minutes left. You know how GameStop started? Rehypothecated shares. GameStop mentioned rehypothecated shares in their FAQs. I need to read a little more. I didn't read this until yesterday. I should have read the whole thing before I started talking about it. Here, I own my GameStop shares in an online brokerage account. How will I receive my warrants so I can exercise or sell them? We believe that your broker will be responsible for crediting your account with warrants if you hold shares or convertible notes as of the record date, and such shares or convertible notes are not being rehypothecated or loaned out. I love it, Ryan Cohen. Cheeky little fella, yo. We believe your broker will be responsible for credit. We believe they'll be responsible for crediting your account with warrants if you hold shares or convertible notes as of the record date, and such shares or convertible notes are not being rehypothecated or loaned out. So he wants to eliminate that. If your shares or convertible notes are being rehypothecated or loaned out, other mechanics may apply. What are those other mechanics? You don't get your warrants, you get the cash value right away, $1, $2, and then the warrant takes off, and you miss out on all of that profit? Not likely if I'm an institution holding millions and millions of shares, you know? In all cases, you would need to contact your broker directly for confirmation and any other information regarding timing, access to warrants, including, mechanics for warrant sales. So this little section right here, other mechanics may apply. It says if it's being rehypothecated or loaned out, other mechanics may apply. Man, let them apply. What's going down, yo? Absolutely. They're messed up, yo. This warrant thing, Ryan Cohen knew the whole time. I'm gonna play this. He knew the whole time he did this. I'm gonna play this real quick. I'm gonna be out, guys.
0%. We're giving a conversion right at 30% plus. So if someone's willing to lend you money at 0%, then it'd be pretty foolish not to take that money as long as we don't do something stupid with it.
Right. So obviously we got to.
And he won't do anything stupid with it. He's very smart, very surgical with his moves.
Talk about short selling. Short selling in GameStop has been legendary. At one point, it probably was valid, considering, again, past management. Just about everyone's asking about three things when it comes to this. First of all, why GameStop? And do you see any form of illegal synthetic shares or whatever it might be, illegal shorting? And what are you doing to fight back against this?
Even from when I made my original investment, I was fascinated at how much hatred there was towards an investment in GameStop. It was one of those things where, you would tell someone invested in GameStop, and they'd be like, "What? What are you invested in GameStop for?" And so, there's always been a lot of people on the other side of the trade, and I have my own personal views on it. I think that it's un-American to bet against business, but it's a free market. If you want to be on the other side, no problem. And if things work out, then those shorts ultimately need a cover, and that could ultimately be a good thing. So I don't think it's all bad. I don't really have much respect for short sellers, and someone who's ultimately not smart enough to find someone successful, they have to bet on someone's failure. But if things work out, then they got to cover. So let them short.
Yeah, and I also.
He knew exactly what he was doing the whole time. Yo, that's nasty. Oh my goodness. I love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, guys. I'm going to play something on the way out. I got like maybe a minute or something. I was listening to this earlier. R&B today. All these little gaps I see over here on the chart, they're little penny gaps, and the volume has been very low. We've been moving. GameStop has been moving on low volume, average volume, 8.3 million volume. We're right at the exact average. 8.31 is the average. So GameStop moving on low volume, multiple days in a row. I'm loving it. This is something else driving it, and I'm here for it. I'm going to be here for it. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. Peace.